And we're going to redo this. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. And well, we're technically not redoing it, okay? This was filmed when I was a guest on Lisa, My Eclectic Lives, and Tanya McGuire's 24-hour streamathon. Good gracious, I'm struggling for words, people. Anywho, the doots. I was able to record with the second camera that I picked up on clearance. I don't know if I finished saying that story. I picked it up on clearance at the Sam's Club back several months ago. And it was like, $65, $69. Anyway, it was a pretty good Logitech. It's a Logitech, y'all. Anyway, and it works with the Logitech software that I have. Anyway, I set that up to record over there. And that's what we're doing. This is my long-winded version of telling you. While I was a guest with them on StreamYard, okay, I recorded, but it's just my portion, okay? Christmas in July. That's it, people. We're doing Christmas in July. It might not be July when you're watching it, and that's okay. When it was originally done, it was Christmas in July. Maybe it's really Christmas when you're watching, which is perfectly fine. So my secret internet admirer had sent me some of the Tim Holtz cloth strips. And I didn't really have a plan for what I was going to do as a guest. So I thought, well, I'll just mimic those, so to speak, be inspired by, so to speak. So you will see I get those out 200, 300, 400 times, and I measure them probably pert near every time. The cloth strips, the official ones, are 1.5 inches by 5 inches. Oh, now, see, yeah. Where's my ruler? Anyway, ain't no ruler boss me. But I made my strips wider and 7 inches. I used 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. You might have saw that. You might not, because the whole thing is in hyper speed. And some of this is like hyper speed, okay? Because we were on StreamYard for near 3.5 hours, darn near close to it. So, a lot of video to edit. And I stopped and chatted for a while and looked at the chat every once in a while. I'm not that good at reading chat when I'm live, okay? Even as a guest, I wasn't that great at it. I did okay-ish, barely. But anyway, I'm much better company in someone else's live chat. Okay, not while I'm doing something, though. Hitty boots. So we're inspired by the strips, and as you can see, I had a hard time doing strips. I'm just like, no, I'm going to go this way and that way. And I got out a lot of Christmas stuff. I have a whole little Christmas bucket. It's not humongous bucket, but I can sure pack a lot of good stuff in there. And I will mention this right here. My boyfriend Clarence, okay, has me collecting all the time. So some of this stuff in my Christmas bucket, I've been collecting a real long time. We checked the copyright date on some of the things, and some of them were from, copyright was 2019. That doesn't necessarily mean I bought it in 2019, but I could have, because I've not bought Christmassy stuff for a long time. And I tend to only get that when it is on clearance and marked down. Okay? Just so you know in advance. Could you find any of this stuff currently? I don't know. I don't know. Could you use what you have? Absolutely use what you have. Okay? Christmas doesn't always have to be red and green either. Okay? As you know, we've seen pink and turquoise and blue and aqua. And, it's just whatever you want. Okay? Okay. Now, those plasticky looking things, they are plastic. There's some trees, and in a little while, or 55 minutes. I don't know how long. It's a long video. It's over 30 minutes. I think it's 31 minutes. Anyway, back to it. The plasticky things, I'm pretty sure, you know, was in the Hobby Lobby Christmas end caps. You know how they put them on the end caps and little whatever, gondolas, not really. Anyway, I would look for those around buttons. You can find plasticky, some of the, okay, gosh, I'm struggling, people. We started off that way, didn't we? Sometimes you can find these plastic novelty things in the button department of your craft store, craft department in the buttons. They don't necessarily have the holes in them to sew them on as buttons. Or buttons, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Anyway, that's what those are. And I tried to put most of them on, the ones that I used with the frabitac. It works pretty good for that stuff, in my experience. So anyway, typically these collage strips, Tim's anyway, are flat. You know. Y'all know I have issues with keeping things flat. I try. Sometimes I try harder than others. But, you know, we're almost always going to have some kind of dimension going on there. So this is me. This is when I'm fiddling, you know, trying on different ephemera bits. And I have lots of different ephemera brands and stuff out here. That takes me a minute, you know, or 5. And sometimes someone's like, yeah, that's perfect, just like this. So, la, 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 la. There we go. So there, see, we're pointing at them again, talking about, well, is there in these actually strips? I mean, you know, strips of paper, strips of words, strips of photos, that kind of thing. So anyway, mine don't look like his. I love mine, don't get me wrong. And I actually even use some of the collage strips on my collage strip. What can these be used for? I don't know. They could be tags or bookmarks or journaling cards or belly bands or paper clips. We will make a paper clip. That will be the last thing we do, but there will be a paper clip involved. Hidden paper clip. And I've got some washi stickers, some other stickers. Y'all, it's fair game. Now, let me warn you. The more stuff you have and the more stuff you pull out, sometimes the harder the decision on what to do, what to use. Just saying, okay? Your best bets, typically. Okay. Of course, the more you do this kind of thing, the more experience you're going to get and the better you'll get at it, because that's just a proven fact of practice, okay? May not always make perfect, but it makes better. For sure. So anyway, you try it on, you love it, okay. You try it on, set it aside and look for something else. Don't have to do it that way, but you can. And, you know, I was chatting with Tanya and Lisa, you know, because I sometimes am a chatty person, and I probably overtalk them. I'm sure I did, because that's kind of my nature. I know. Not no Miss Manners here. So, I do end up using some diamonds again towards the end. We've got some paper flowers that are going to come out in a little bit. And we're going to have some charms, you know, like you hang on a bracelet or a necklace or paper clip, you know, that kind of thing. We'll bring those out too. So. And I did not actually keep very good record of what ephemera bits we used. We just used ephemera. Oh, speaking of, the images that I started off cutting out, y'all, I get such big eyes sometimes. I'm like, I need more stuff. Collectors think that way. So anyway, I printed off 5 sheets of from the Graphics Fairy free site. I collect. Y'all, when I say I collect almost a lot of stuff. So anyway, You can sign up for their, this is not a promotion, there's no affiliation or any of that stuff, but they always have, every week, they send out a newsletter, and they give you free images. If you want to download them, download them. If you don't want to, don't. Okay? They also have a premium site. Just saying. I'm not in the premium site. I'm the freebie kind of girl. You know, Clarence is my boyfriend. He's like, oh no, freebie girl. Next to nothing girl. So, you know, that's me in a nutshell. So, all those images, digital images, are from the Graphics Fairy. Okay? I do... Did I have some paper dolls out? No, but you can always use paper dolls because you know I love them. I didn't use them in this one. That Santa is like my favorite is Santa. He's from the Hobby Lobby. Okay? The tree as well. And then there'll be some poinsettias that I show somewhere briefly. They're also from that department. Or, you know, Hobby Lobby. Anyway, love the Santa. I got several packages. As we counted them up, I'm not going to recount them here again. Anyway, chitty chat. Around our house, now I mentioned this during the live show, when my husband had his stem cell transplant many years ago, and he's doing okay, y'all. Thank you. We're maintaining. Appreciate it. Truly, we do. Anyway, it was right around Christmas time that we were getting ready to do that. So that's kind of when we stopped doing Christmas. Not the Christmas spirit, but we stopped putting up Christmas decorations because we weren't even home, y'all. So every once in a while, I will put out a Christmas tree. Of course, at Christmas time. We just don't decorate all like we used to. And some of you may be aware, I have a few grandchildren, 16 of them. And we have a few great-grandchildren, 5 of them, at the time of this recording. So, yeah, it's kind of prohibited from doing the whole gifty thing, all right? So, anyway, not that it matters. That's not what Christmas is. It's not, just saying. And if you're not into Christmas, that's okay. And if you are, that's okay too. And if you want to make Hanukkah-type collage strips, make Hanukkah-type collage strips. Or Kwanzaa. Or Festivus. Oh, y'all. There it is, Festivus. That's a festival for the rest of us. Okay? It was a made-up holiday that's turned into a holiday. Now I think you can pretty much do it at any time in December. I mean, you know, I believe that's kind of how it goes. I've done a Festivus poll. Oh, hello, phone. I've done a Festivus poll. I have done 2 Festivus polls because I lost the first one. I'm like, where did it go? Anyway. Just saying. So I'm fiddling around. I've got ribbon. I've got some lace. Y'all, I didn't even put a dent in this stuff I have. That some of that is actual Tim Holtz, not Timmy. It's Tim Holtz. Ephemera packages. So, but the main photography type images, the people type images, were the Graphics Fairy. Okay. Now, some of these things have pop dots on the back of them. Okay. And I'm taking the pop dot off. Well, because, you know, I've got enough dimension already going on. So, and I believe I used art glitter glue and the frabitac, and I think that was it. I didn't use my favorite, but it's still my favorite. Aleen's Original Tacky Glue. Not an affiliate. I have these little paper type. I don't think they're really paper because they're kind of more fabric-y feeling, but I don't know. They're always described as paper flowers. That one had some little bits in between there that I didn't like, so I was trying to trim it out. And as you can see, as you're looking at it now, it's like, but that's the odd flower out because the package has red, green, and white flowers in it. They all have a little gold BB in the middle, a little bitty tiny gold BB. It's not a BB, it's plastic, whatever. And there's two different styles of flower. There's the 5-petal one, and then there's the one that I tend to call more chrysanthemy looking or mum looking. I don't know. So, and at one point I was talking about, there's nothing wrong with having simple. If you lay it on there and you've got 3 things on there and you love it, then it's done. There's nothing wrong with simple, okay? This is one of Tim's collage strips that I'm putting on my collage strip. Because you can do that. If you bought it, it's yours. You can do that, okay? So, and now looking back on this as I was editing, I thought I should have used the red flowers. They really jumped out at you, aka popped. Anyway, I'm really happy with all the work we did. I had such a good time as a guest on their show. I've guested with them before. And sometimes you see we've done 2 at a time. We've done 1 at a time. There's some more of the graphics for it. And I have a lot of those now, y'all. I'm like, I'm never going to need to print out any more Christmas stuff. And I didn't even print out all the free Christmas ones that I had. I'm like, okay, 5 sheets, that's enough. Now, when I do the images like that, I have, Microsoft Word on my computer. So I open it up. I put the margin as narrow as I can all the way around the page. I think it's like 0.03, okay, left and right, top and bottom. And then I tell my computer, I'm like, insert picture from this device. And then I find the pictures I want. I click on them. It inserts them into my Word document, because now it's a document, right? I don't know what other programs you can use. This is just what I use, okay? Okay. And then I can resize the image. I can make it smaller or larger. Well, it's only so large you can make it, but I make them smaller. As you can see, I made them pretty small. Okay? Just saying. So, that's how I got the little ones like that. And however many, I don't know how many I got on 5 pages, but that's what I printed. Just 5 pages. And, yeah. So then you just have to trim them out. You can fussy cut them if you want to. They're pretty tiny. Pretty tiny. See that little reindeer there? He's one of those plastic things. I don't know what they use them for. They may just be used for purely gluing on decorations. You know how people decorate Christmas stockings? Maybe they just glue them on there. You could actually stitch over them and sew them on there too. I'm pretty sure about that. It all depends on what you want to do. And some of these strips I struggle with more, and some of them it's like, yeah, that's perfect, right? Because that's kind of how it goes. How many did I end up with? I don't know. Someone will probably ask. I think I had 8 strips and a paper clip, hidden paper clip with a charm on it. Just wait till you see that part, y'all. Are you still here? Are you still watching? I mean, we're down to what, 18 minutes? More than halfway, people. Anyway, some of the, when you buy ephemera, you want to cut it up, cut it up. You don't want to, don't, okay? You want to ink around stuff, ink around stuff. You don't want to, don't do it. I did notice on the official collage strips, they were not inked. Okay, it was just like this piece was glued on, and this piece was glued on, and this piece was glued on. Okay, so, and sometimes I ink and sometimes I don't. If you don't know that about me, that's the truth. Sometimes I ink and sometimes I don't. Well, that one piece of, that's a portion of a piece of ephemera that we'd used previously. This is the leftover part. It has the letter A on it. I don't know why it has an A, but I didn't like it. So I'm trying to cover that up. So I took an oval punch and tried to punch out my image. Now, this is just on, the images I printed are just on regular copy paper. So, it's punches don't necessarily like thin paper, just saying. And then when I got it punched out in the oval, I put it on there. I didn't like it, so I got out a smaller circle punch, and that one I liked it more better, so that's the one we used. And now I'm getting fancy, 'cause I'm like, oh, let's turn it cockeyed. Let's not even have it straight anymore. Let's just twist them all up. And some of them I'm sort of making pockets, and some of the pockets end up getting sealed up, and they're not pockets anymore. They were, but they're not anymore, and that's okay. You want your pockets to stay pockets. Be sure not to glue something over the top of the opening part, okay? Just let me say that, because it might be important. And why do I leave teeny tiny pockets like that anyway? I don't know. Maybe you want to slip a little teeny tiny note in there with the date. Or maybe you want to put a teeny tiny note in there and go, this was the best day ever. Or I hated today. I mean, you just put whatever you want to. You could put a little love note in there for somebody else. You could use these for gift tags. You could. Your limitation. You know what your limitation is. You know it. Your imagination is your only limitation. Well, sometimes finances are limiting. But see, that's what happens when I get to thinking about stuff. I'm like, well, this, that, and other. So, anyway, there are some places where it looks like I'm just paused, and that's probably because I was paused and was chatting, or I could have been looking at, because, sometimes Lisa would show closer work of what she was doing, and I would have to look at it because they just did some amazing things. I will link to their channels below. And I will do my best to link to the video in the upper right hand corner. I'll try to remember to go ahead and pop that below as well. And there's going to be a partial list of ingredients below, because I'm going to tell you the name of the paper pad. I'm going to repeat that my digital images were from the Graphics Fairy. I'm going to put in there the glues that I used. I used some diamonds. We will use some diamonds. Not many. I can go, you know what? If I go out there in 5 minutes and I'll be like, oh, I want to change this one, I can change it because it's out there. Okay. Of course, once you get rid of them, you mail them off in Happy Mail or whatever you do. It's out of your hands. Just saying. I don't know. These are adorable bookmarks if you needed bookmarks. They could be tags. Or belly bands. I know I've already said that. Or you could glue 3 sides. Now it's a pocket itself. Just saying. I don't know that these could be cut smaller. Well, the ones with straight lines you probably could, but not the ones with the crooked lines. Well, unless you wanted a crooked pocket. So I think these are the shorter pieces, because I did 12 by 12 cardstock. I cut it 2.5 inches wide, and I cut the longer side at 7 inches, so that left 5 inches for the shorter piece, which is what I'm putting these collage strips on. Okay, now I'm trimming off one of the pictures or one of the sections that, like, well, yeah, that one can go, kind of thing. And then I'll use one of those, 2 of those. I don't know. I might use them and I might not. And now they're going to be in my, here I'm wiggling my finger. Can you see me wiggling my finger? Can you hear me wiggling my finger? I will put them in my scraps. Or maybe the strip I'll put back in the strip package. I don't know. So, and we're not really showing off this. It's not the flippy floppy, y'all. It's a semi flippy floppy, because somebody in chat asked about it. So I was just showing a little bit more. And here's the paper clip. Okay, I'm like, oh, let's just go ahead and do a paper clip. So I'm doing a hidden paper clip, and I have that strip, and I used the larger office size paper clips. I don't know, was it like 1 3/4, something like that, 2 inches maybe, I don't know. And then I went over there and got another scrap of paper, which would have worked for these strips as well. And I'm trying to cut it slightly smaller than the green one, because it's going to go on the inside to cover up the paper clip, okay? Well, sort of. The outside piece, the green piece, covers the paper clip. The paper clip goes over the folded edge, and I used a regular hole punch to notch out, see that little divot right there? And then I did that on both pieces so that they, on the green mainly, so that the little part of the paper clip sticks out, so you can hook a charm on it, put a ribbon on it, piece of fabric, whatever you like. You don't have to do that. I just chose to do that. And you notice I have one side is shorter than the other. It makes it easier to slip over the edge of a page. Okay, book page, bookmark again. Here you go. You can even stick a gift card on there and go, here, Merry Christmas, la la la. So, anyway, your imagination, your limitation. That's why we watch so many art and videos. Because our brain just absorbs this stuff, and eventually you're going to have 2 or 3 or 5 dozen different things come together, and they're all going to get married in your brain, and you're going to have a fabulous project. Just because you thought of those other things you saw people do. You're like, well, you know, I saw so-and-so do the paperclip like that. I could do my paperclip like that. Or, I didn't like the way they did it. I'm going to do mine different, because it works that way too. So that was the horses we cut off of that one piece. And, you know, we're going to put the charm on. So I got a jump ring, and you twist them to open it. Don't pull them apart, twist them. And then you just put it on your end of your paper clip, on your charm, and then you close it up. And now you put some diamonds on it. It's almost to the flip-flop part time, y'all. You've almost made it to the end. Only 20 more minutes to go. A flip-flop and photo montage. Because, yes, there is a photo montage. Okay. I'm so happy with these. If you noticed, I did not round any of the egg corners there. But they could be rounded. If you like to round them, round them. Okay, and it's like one of my favorite is Couples from the Graphics Fairy Free Digitals. I've used that one several times. I've made little canvas brooches, aka pins, only they weren't pins. I used magnet backs on them so that you wouldn't have to mess up your clothes by sticking a pin through it. Anyway, sold a lot of those. Anyhow, I should have some, maybe. I don't know if I have any left. Oh, just so happy. Love that Santa face, y'all. That was the supreme Santa face when I was a child. That was the most popular looking one. That's why the soda water people started doing it, because people really liked that style of Santa. Anyway. See, those two are belly bands. See, well, I say belly band. You don't got it. Just because it's got a belly band doesn't mean you have to put something under it. Just because there's a pocket doesn't mean you have to put something in the pocket. Just saying. Okay? Just made me so stinking happy. Look at that. I haven't got a pocket. A teeny tiny pocket. Yeah. And that's where I'm saying make one side shorter than the other. Because you can't see it. Once you slide it on the page, you can't see that one side shorter than the other. And if you pay attention to your direction, you can make them so that they slide on the side of a paper and not necessarily always on the top. Just saying. Okay? Because you could be orientation specific if you want to. Or Atlantic either, for that matter. Just saying. Here we go. Flip flop. Showing them all. Ta-da! Photo montage. It was fun. Like I said, I think I had about 3.5 hours worth of a video, and I whittled it down to, well, the actual video is down to 29 minutes, but the photo montage, we gotta have our photos. I like them. I like montage. Y'all. Oh my goodness. What fun and what pretty little bits I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I will pile them up. And Mike would even leave them in my little Christmassy bucket stuff right there. So, I don't know. IDK. Aren't they pretty? That's the paperclip. I know that I am home. Don't you just love that sentiment? I do. Look at the diamonds. Well, you could kind of see the diamonds. It's a little blurry. I was trying to show that the little charm, is free, hangy, floaty kind of thing right there. May not have done that good at showing that, but that's what I was trying to do. So, and that's one of the collage strips in the background. See, simple. Added the Santa and the flowers, and bam, that was that, I believe, on that one. You don't have, everything doesn't have to be covered in 20 million layers. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay? Just saying. That's true. Thanks so much for spending your time with me. Thanks for watching, and happy artin', y'all. Merry Christmas.